Me mama watching the ba Adom TV so anopay and Jumedia will show Adom TV sui Jumedia no Nnawotwe Yi na said the mwamu ni muno in summer SCC Nnawotwe Yi mu yahwehwe sansem no yahwehwe in summer SCC no na yafa de ehia na ene yaba betena ha no mu sei na yabobo ho kakra na wohwe Nnawotwe Yi mu ansem a esi a yaba behwe bi anopei edi ho enkomo ewo dwumadie so ebi ne se Chief Justice committee president set up say omo investigate ni allegations petitions bi a omo de akwakoma presidency president ne Council of State I established said there's a prima facie case against the Chief Justice no in sembi wo ho say oyi no sa committee president set up a 5-member committee no this week no almost started omo adwuma ana Cedi no so ase aman humu no so kakra emo ayedin against dollar no ya te afiguta for ho say omani age say Cedi na honden no akosoro against the dollar eno omo de nkrata ba abonten padwadfo ache so omo hwe no omo ntete omo nioma so say de be ya Ghana for ye hu be henhan ye kakra after eno no so no enra Ghana Immigration Service for undertake exercise bi eye omo sika ewo akwan ho utika mu anomo how wonam kra na yaso mu atwun se my sika eye Nigerfo ne Malifo a oma begu hanum se bebre no enra Ghana Immigration Service for undertake exercise and collaborate over 1,000 ana omo etumi esesa omo efi yakwan eho Nnawotwe Yi mu so energy minister eba out because say ye work crisis kakramu ye work challenges bi and say be here be 1.1 billion dollars ye de be kra fango any gas ye de be back Ghana hanu mu sei aba power plants no say de be ya ye nkania no ebetumi agina brane na eno mu no so no this week ye humfoni bia na etwitwa social media acting CEO of the Gold Board Samejemfi the whole same be ebeba up bebre entino sansam way any and someone yede ebrel anopa way ewo Nnawotwe adwumadie so Nnawotwe adwumadie etwa ewo Adom FM okwa sempa so a obenya bi etie wo honomo ana okọ social media handles ni nyina so okọ honomo a obenya bi ahwe na wadwenkyere a wo no na wode wadwenkyere so aba ye bebie phone lines no so na no so wetumi de wadwenkyere afa hono na emum no ye bepa wo chew se ye bie phone lines no so a wobema okasa a wobeka no ho bete yenye ya obi a yembo obi edin enka asembone bi amfa obi a ho said ensem ne tie de bebrɛw no na wakyere wadwen afa ho ye twa ye ho ye ba ye de ensem no ebe hyehye so ye da mo ase se muguso edimo fidi ato Adom TV so anopa we medin di wolanyo Frank Nyonato ensam na yehwe no efa Cedi no ho no ye de no ene be hyase anopa we this week no guta for bar out ebe ka se de Cedi na honden no epegya no ho be hia se omo mutonton ade no omo betete omo neoma no so Adom TV ye story bi efa sa omo report no ho pacho yenko ne yenko tie ye ba ye ne gutafo ebedi nkomo
station guta e de ato wono muku ma wodi dwa e wo man mu nyina animu se yi a Cedi no etumi ama ne hom no so a dollar no etiba fom no omomodi ase wo betete wono mu niama bo so sankrata yi president awoda guta no Dr. Joseph Obeng ena ne nsa ehase na wo kire mu se de sese Cedi no etumi asori agina ne nan so brane no abane bire semu na wonom egidiye paase beboa wonom dwadie ama aboa impumtum so the sense wo de to adwadifo nyina animu se wonom enwene ekwan a obefa so aboa omensi kasem ama na tumi agina brane e wo bra wo hwe aboa wo de ton wonom niama no no watete so ebeye na wotwe kakra nie no wonom odidwa ene manfo nyina ehunu se Ghana Cedi no e sori gina ne nan so brane kakra sene sede kane bi na anka bribia etebafo eno enanam so a Dr. Oben akire mu se dwadifo etete wono mo niama so ema ene sede Cedi no epeja ne mu na dollar no eba fom no ejina tepanyin a ebema edwadi a wodie no emu ada hono mo fan na fe ama wono mo a woni mu edidwan so enya gidie ewo mu.
America kra urban ye na Ghana Cedi na nya hoden soronko a enya asem ketoa so de ene kutonim abosome de to so dunum afimpim mienu ne adununum ejina ho no mu a oto America dollar ba kono Ghana Cedi ne dumienu ene akiripo aduanan num na kire se Cedi na hoden no apeja ne mu pa padodo na akire wona adwene wonu yema bia osusu se no na aboa ama Cedi na nya hoden a etesa Dr. Thomas Boaben akire sikasem e Ghana Mensu Aponkese University of Ghana Business School mu a ono so akire se
globally no I'm say Trump etna akonya so no waye niam bia ama ewiase be bia dollar na ho de akofom ana yenso enya so mfa so bie enti eno ne ye de din ka ba niam bebre nso wo ho a aban dada no ye aban fufuri nso abayi ye niam bia ka ho ano so ama confidence aba Ghana fum confidence aba omo musko mbeso mo de hyenwuma mu enti ama e ho ede in fact we had last year in every gold and cocoa. Yanso said dollar no a dear and a Cedi no a home de coffee.
Owie ye osani tudwa so o arehemu ye pa sa aban otisui ebetumi abomodin ma Cedi na ho odin a wanya no etumi egina na aso na atena ho ache ne mum enkonkoba se ebesan ate akoda bi o kire nneoma hoduro bi a ban betumi aya ebeboa ama Cedi na ho odin no bekoso egina ba bi egina ya.
See, we hear Bank of Ghana say, "Oh my idea, T-bill, Treasury bill, rate, you know, on say my interest, no, conform, and I say I stabilize it and cost and my inflation so cry then, above from somewhere 40% I be do BB. And you know, a good sign. Na a balance on near my no, the way almost see handle ska to 2 near man on transparency bem. Na citizens and investors in who ne say ebe boy but I mean is on exporters on
and I'm sure you know yeah University of Ghana economist and also a kasafa Cedi na honde no so any nyoma is say aban eye na otumi sustaining the gains of the Cedi in the studio no make say Mensanka Peter Mensa wababedu ahano mu say Peter it say
minia ejoso
boko de
Adom ani ahwe yi nyame de yenkwa achen yikwekrom kakra na yabedu he no na yenchia Ghana fo a wajebre na wo hwe wa fidi kase Adom TV die makasa mokwa chipa na tie eyama menje se okọ ahafo a for the anopasi in baby Adom TV na ya kan afon so aye president ane you were large in college dauda Kentinka enti mavenchia Kentinka anopay na me regional minister obadwuma Charity Gardner obadwuma pa obaso no se the osese region normal region no afne ahafo is in the limelight because of the impact on also so a day ayeden aba of course TV South current DC year see you know me ankasa me bra penny your friend Honorable Benjamin Asabel one penny for a bedroom pa in TNC asafu in any regional executives any all the constituency executive for more half you power more yen see so you are cry better one achi now names the last week Monday's day me de mabro free for a bank crying my edi Monday's day nyame adom akwakodu asumdwemti anope mama test na afi ene na akom omotifi omohwe Adom TV enti ba menchia won na yemo mambo me wa haina me free PSC tamashi piadi na me mo enchia kakra na mo nkomo kakra tamashi pia so mo chia mo na dear friend say me ankasa me boss Mr. Osman Sulemana nyame adom ye den hihye bebre gu akwan mu a enkan ya na amanfo bebre ni say tema shipyard o magu no NPP for end ye no kore o za NPP for end o mo ba be say ba bia one of the key areas, you know, and yes, I had my shipyard, no. Unfortunately and fortunately for us, you know, we have the biggest shipyard in West Africa. All vessels, ships are CNN, Ketwin, your service, so when all these vessels want to go for service and repairs and maintenance of their ships, in West Africa, no, this is the best place for them. But do you know something? NPP shut down a whole dock for servicing all the smaller vessels for almost 3 good years. Most of the vessels now also a banning revenue near the Abidjan, Senegal, Nigeria, and other countries. And for the past 3 years in NPP government, that place was shut down. President Mama de share manifesto in page 72 of our manifesto say obe revamp the shipyard. The good news they say, and they under the able leadership of Mr. Osman Suleimana and myself, and the strong technical team, their expertise, Ghanaians who we put them together with the support of the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbors and the Sector Minister Honorable Joseph Nupe. These guys, we brought them together, and within 2 months, something that was shut down for 3 years, they fixed it for us. You first vessel, I have service, no, you have service in we are shipping a day. So that means that, you see, government of Ghana and its management, we are capable of managing our own state-owned enterprises. What was lacking was strategic management. People with the political will to manage state assets. And yes, private. We are capable. We didn't import this expertise and technical people. And very soon, remember, more Adom for documentary. How we pick that shipyard, what we are doing now, and the way forward. So that we our buying you memo. Say I'm buying pen for ya pow yen say I swear ya who do the president has a strong political will to reset, to transform, and to build the Ghana we all want together. And don't you know pow yen that's how you know. Now she say what we are aiming at is number 1, create a sustainable working environment to create more jobs for our youth, and also raise revenue for government projects and initiatives. And basically, that is what we are. So the good thing is that 24-hour economy now, President John Dramani Mahama, makes me a catch us. Then she say, start a full operation of 24-hour economy. Started June, these are some of the gains. These are some of the impact. It is not meme hongwa. Even under your friend say, Ministry of Transport now, DVL every sector we are trying to work out to build on what we came to be. The mess is serious. But
we said previously, no.
Yes.
Now workers in a be bad say some time ago. Many omo edi nkomo na omo kase a private entity had been brought in.
Yes.
Into normal how have you come in to deal with this private entity now? Say Jumane say bano.
Yes.
Na echo private entity no. What I want to know is
yes.
Mobile not private entity no.
Me say that is one of the dubious engagement the previous management did, and they know. Say state assets, state resources. Management revenue a woman in Ambra state, no. Yes, you for private company. No me. Now at the end of the day, private company no and take 85% profit. No for 15% per government. Meanwhile, we came in and this the community people they booted them out because it's a dubious contract. And I so are now appointing new management. So we took over and now this vessel I make us service instead of 85% going to private and 15% coming to government, the whole revenue is coming to government. So you can imagine and look at the difference. How can we come within the space of 2 months, 3 months and make this impact? Now a whole 4 years, 8 years. This idea we come up private company. Only 85% of it. Not only 50% Emma government. This is criminal. And this is what President Mama has been talking of. That we need to reset the country. And so in resetting the economy, resetting the country, these are some of the impact. The reason why I am far, when in Amba Montano, and say, Yes, sate your friends a roadmap no. Yeah, your full documentary. What we want Ghanaians to know is that the state of PSC Tema Shipyard as we came to meet, the state today and the way forward. And we project everything for Ghana. We have the resources. We have the men. We needed political will to execute orders so that on my phone made it be just so fast. I don't know Yamiatom. Ewo ho no na menim say on my phone should be just so emphasis. Na me nua kwesi so de kwesi abai ono no say you be a jaja opportunity kase bi na wanya bi entia ha onya bibi sa anka on so be nya pepa no tumi transform but on pen phone de ono ka say so bi ya bro eno de within Igbo dem omo no ye mabunu say no say we want to help. We our aspiration here high. It will no opportunity be you don't joke with it. But ne papa ni me nana no. Omo de omo ye dey. I be mindful. Omo say man. But we are resetting everything.
Mama in business asem we. Workers no.
Yeah.
Na me nim say for some time no. Na be na etifie.
Yes.
Shipyard workers.
That's true.
Na some of them were on suspension for various reasons.
Yeah, of course.
With the technical knowledge omo kita no.
Yes.
Mobile no, what from nyina back and I say mole ebinom off and I say
buy no they had laid off all workers and former CEO no select and nkofo a otno mo be ye enti our no sa caveat of don't recruit after 7th December no ono so ye bi
okay
e wo hono enti buy no those that were affected we have to let them go and rest but in order to put the place in shape, we brought all those technical guys now. Omona making gains at the yard for the country. We brought some of them back. Our strategy is that let's streamline and set the base. Now to me and set the roadmap for 24-hour economy. You just set the full 3-shift system, which we are starting next month. You just started repair. More experience we are coming to absorb them through the 3-shift system cycle. And at the end of the day, will be a bad day.
It's those experiences and we are going to re-engage them. That is what you are saying.
We have re-engaged some of them. Yes, we say.
Because it's one thing saying...
You're full presser.
It's one thing saying...
Do you know something? Somebody had worked there for 25 years. A Cuban trained. The best engineer ever. I know leading my services. Yes, I cannot if you buy and you can no be leading operations. Or no, within 2 months, something they shut down for 3 years, only 2 months, or my fix it. Am I a service first vessel?
Okay.
So these are some of the initiatives and steps we are taking. When we are say no, measure that transfer. You see, on money in hand, Sanya me nyina ekoyia ne nuanu bebre a omo ya ono no de wa ade na tie no hu se we NPP ni we NDC ni eti sa 3 system field operation work no ye fa obia and all of them benefit. So these are some of them we all have to contribute, and at the appropriate time we are going to do a full media engagement on it. Yeah, mama said the enyama esi. But a good thing I can tell you for now, say PSC Tema Shipyard is in safe hand. And will make Mr. President proud, will make the nation proud. All that we want to say, they say, the management, government and its management, we are capable of managing the state enterprises and state affairs. You don't, at a point, need to say, oh, BBN can come out private. BBN come out private. That is what is killing the country. Private one, any pay. So why can't we have that political will, the patriotic spirit, and Juma Yadiasha and no man phoning us on fast. Now politician credit him out.
Do you describe it Tema Shipyard as one of the biggest in West Africa?
Yes. Yeah,
but what I want to find out,
we have the dog size. Every determine.
Okay.
The dog size, maybe a service vessel. No, Ghana's and dog one, the size 277 meters.
Okay.
Yes, which is about 100,000 WT. And this one in Africa, in West Africa, and even Africa, no. Say, obi baby, obe service and a vessel, open size of a dog like this, then they just over. But what was lacking was strategic management. So most of the vessel owners now saying, me, and I'm a CEO, no, I charge me. I am engaging all the vessel owners. And when I go to them, their major problem was previous management, how they were handling issues. And now they are so happy. The energy, the love has come because there's new management. And that is why we are seeing
one of the things, just in 1 minute, one of the things more opposition I'm kind is institutions being state-owned. The target say mobile self-sufficient.
Yes, that's it.
And from the way I walk, I want to find out, say, it is a Ghana Airport Company, say, these are institutions being more Temahabo, say, that can take loans on their own balance sheets, Mr. Nyomano. Are you, in 1 minute, can you assure me, sir, and Ghanaians, say the shipyard is capable
of being self-sufficient?
Yes. And then take itself off government support.
I love it. We are not under government support now.
Okay.
We are not under government support. You see, that is the previous...
In 1 minute, so that we can go on the topic.
Previous past arrangement and a government eco support me because they were redundant and they were not doing anything. But for now, we are not under government subvention or government support. What we are doing is to manage internally. Hey, sorry, you're here right there. You have been managing in Shayano. I don't think I make us a strategic management. And the area is here in two aspects: the dock management. And that place in Nkrumah, I salute Kwame Nkrumah. It's meant for shipbuilding and fabrication. And that is the vision President manifesto number page 72 to revamp that place and make it a shipbuilding center in West Africa. And now, no strategic arrangement, and that's what we are looking at. Internal arrangement, starting proper foundation. Now very soon, now you call shipbuilding. Ghana, you be producing and manufacture ship. All these tugboats near the Adina, we are going to do that in the country. And this is what we are looking for. And this is what I believe say we are capable of doing. When you are not
your initial I don't know.
Mama make us say shipbuilding. Shipbuilding now make and Mama say Ghana can we? That was the infrastructure built. And we have to leverage on that and do it.
Yes, I'm from Crown.
I shall no more
this year.
This is my friend.
Oh, Fachame.
So this is on Bahai.
This is my sister Fachame. If my sister from Mane.
So, you're from
Koidi and go for the bomb treasurer.
You're from.
Say, baby, I'm number one. Sebio, the beer cassette.
One of the toughest ministries now.
Penfosia Tassin Banyan. How our expectation and conform our bonteno. Be a now woman entesa. A Hordia Sebio Nipa Susu se was our Hordi no mobino. Yana and your sanity. As you said, which I was a movie in a day, in ye, when a penny in a yajuma. A banana awesome. And no money be 1 wire day, 1 minute. Yes, you can see school placement or more. Yes, you can see teacher recruitment or more. Yes, see, na uchirimbi bra na ekwaye bibi so yede ewo. But sometimes me akra me ura me own closer. You realize one cause our personal expectation, be our family expectation go an. Yeah. Be a ankwasa. One example be but high TV so ntimenya de menka. Me hunu say akwanya na menya ye adwuma. Sebi ebru ya ye fie kura nya bibia na ohwe ahon sa ye de eka. The mensaka e bia wo hobia na kwanya bia menya bia me grateful to God, me grateful to my former boss Abribia. So once a soldier, always a soldier, Dr. Duchum, or that's what I have a boss. Me grateful to him. The Akabia, Benforce, a fear, echi, any other, abofono, my German, I. The ACBA may take a responsibility. Say, obviously, as you can see, a flower, question, name pay school placement, ultimately, a category B, but Timania category A. And I know a teacher, Juma Mammy, and so they may say a transfer, but when Timania day, and me take a responsibility for Minina. Nemo be chirimu bebra na ekoye nsem bebre nti ni nyina ansa dwobro bi a che bia no emfa nche ye ho unse party de so lose power it looks like all assumptions are true me kai and this for lose power esi I choose mfo na de ko yi opposition esi we mu ne enkofo we group we say e be mo mayo adwuma esi we mu de o mayo tuapia ense basa ena benifo kan say be eburu o so tough mo abo bia ye dey ebo ni bi enso akoye nipa ho adwuma ebu ho ane amene Ebo ha na enyina dia che ho. At the end of the day, we still regroup. Say be a party be any about power forever. Eh dey ebi beba, ebi be say dey akọ. I say nipa etiasi, no be any ho be kire bo. Omre so anu ayede, ukọ omre so ana wayede waba. Enti no mani bi ho a adwebro. Na bi nwa Peter se mo kaka na mbese mi ya. Ma oh na de
Peter Nnawotwe.
Na de menye Ghana ni. Waso obi e me twa tax. Me twa tax. Dedi ka webo Peter Baso. Na dedi webo Peter Baso ne se se bi awuru mfie be nwotwetwe mu yenyine yehu saya kwan mamu efa so ye adwuma. Peter no mu yi kwojoda nkwa no mu Sami Jemfi no mu enti yemu bu ho a yete so mo nya kwanya enso no na ayefe na akoye nkranhye ana echese da achi bi so no yeso ya ban so ba mamu a te se ye so no yebenya baabi ayede baabi pa ayede asom se de mamu ani bi ho a wonu mu ye disappointed wa ban no mu no e kwa de ne ehunu sentesa because me I was quite young
mami so anu sa asem no so kakra yanko phone lines no so ne need Benjamin Yeboah or director of National Welfare, Emma Guta. Mr. Benjamin, good morning.
Morning, sir.
But you had to say?
Adom,
okay. This week, Guta, what ye release be by out and I'm call it on traders. Say, and reduce prices of goods. Serebeya Ghana for a home high kakra. Then I inform mu decision.
Yo, me da se na me fa kwanyantia wati for no washo for nyina no pay. Sir, we've been following the trend. Say who say you see can see you know gradually gaining strength. Because the beginning of the year, around late 16, 15 cities thereabout. At a move gradually, as we speak, it's around 12 point something. Until we saw that it has appreciated remarkably. Just as we would have not even told our members in Puno, or maybe I just some prices. When we just thought it's wise, said we can appeal to them. Ever as they said, dear, and two of them said, one more, on bet me, I just some prices. Omonyan is name consume public so enya awunya kakra mo en ha on kakra enti appeal as they said there na ye to your members any even the general trading community nanim
obi be ka say enya ntem dodo say mo be call for such a move say reduce prices no.
Well, we are 5 months into the year. We are in the 5th month. They say, if I'm not mistaken, about 16. Half of the month is even gone. And if we've realized a gradual trend of appreciation in terms of the Sikana, we have to recognize it. Like 5 months within this time. Like as you can see, I take 16 something, neko 17, neko 18. Can make town can say, I attempt to see a bekasa, yakasa. It's the same way, you will say appreciate it. We have to also make our voices heard to our teaming friends and members say, they should also try and do something. Into words, no? And yet, tell to do.
Into Uber to me, I catch a Ghana for say, Guta for currently no my businesses no thriving.
Oh, sir, obia ni nejuma okura. No obia ni sikasam. It would mean master general overview ni say obia business thrive baby. I know what you mean kind of sir. But if you are looking at just the angle of the second appreciation there, then it's a positive sign. That is why they appeal. You can say, Obi because pork, or should be rate, out of Ghana rate in the day, calculated duties in it. When your savings were home, it is such a person is even able to give some respect to the customers. Now, obi also so unfortunately, ni mama and your mother ya ultimately so. Obaboka. This is what trying na dia esi posono ebelande na otimi ya and obetimi ateno so. Eti ma also for say at west it was about within 60 days because import cycle near 90 days. Therefore, the kind of started say appreciated of peace says kana. But now or the big one ton near my beer or the ship so by be a bosom in the quiet. Yeah, the 2 months time. No, you so they big do that means all things being equal. That means obey do Nancy can award in say and shut down consul beyond plan obey also better be better in your muscle. It is so that is how the dynamics work. Give me my blanket statement say all of a sudden will be a juma extra no.
Me pacho omo kra nioma last year. Dollar no baby a ejina omo to sa nioma at a certain price a omo import buy. Safo no then I walk at me because I'm a nioma at a certain rate we na dollar rate na me de aba. Na me ton wie a oje de se sankofo no ombetumi atete nioma no so.
Yeah, unfortunately, they cannot reduce. They can't reduce their price. Like I said it earlier, Obaboka. If in such a person can't reduce anything, this was trying. Emma, when you're full of the from Ebianinia Akrebiaba, Weji, and the price of the year. It was also to be called a chair or cut and then a coca, not to be wholesale price. Not to be funny, they know I just seen the catalog. This is like a woman, a competitive, very competitive. It will be a fine how I only could be to me after the anyone stay in business. And a good business person is the one who is able to sell, try and get more and sell. The operation is turnover, no? And I just you are in business. And it's just a system that works. And you want to be in country to say, oh, dear, oh, bonnet. And that's what so baby. Or no, want to be if you are on Tonry. No better there will get more. It's one also you will find a way out. Do I go to a friend? Namen no coca we yibi. Namin median meaning being from the comedian. Namin adjusted. And I media that they go out. No, they're not family already. Namin ton limit minya Missika Nan San Comano. Nam maybe there be here. That is how the system works. It's in that competitive market today. Will be our struggle to be able to sell. And people find the adjustable ways are on the media remain competitive.
More expected dollar no ebe conform biom.
That is our prayer. But we are not in the driving seat. About the one driving seat. We are just telling about say whatever calculation you know any Bank of Ghana, any finance ministry, through all those agencies, to try and sustain this, they should continue doing so. Because everything will be benchmarked on the sustainability of the money. Or the air can, say, yeah, that, sorry, now, on business, you cannot want to start at the back for my. Then we are not going to make any gains.
Enti mu mwa femu no mo giri saban ye bibi ye meboa.
Yes oko football ma e do ya ade o she goal. Goal ni yarewe. Enti no say me nim bibi akwampo no. E so na me nim say and the dollar a free e be 15 plus about 12 plus. And to us the government is doing well. Because so on your BBI and Korea, I can say me bruiser. And since they are in the driving seat, they will take the glory for it.
Yo, medawasi anope ni sir, wama ho kwan na yetumi ene wo edi enkomo. Dr. Benjamin Yeboah, Director of National Welfare, Emma Guta, ono na yetene kano. Mr. Benjamin Pacho bedawasi.
Mr. That's fine, I come on.
Yo. Because no one who goes and so answer.
Me say
me street there.
Oh, my man casa
Money making a first.
my man first go. So what casa be you 20 minutes go and almost 30 minutes. Anyway. But then whichever is still the time.
Sure.
Me the bona na me bona ma so say me mo ano o mo nya kwanya so. And then when you appointment, Peter, then about you know, spray white to you. And then when you appointment, oh, pressure, Ben, how far have go spray white tea. Anyway, I says Sikaba, is it Bibia? Is it Sikaba? No, to me, where Peter, you are the also. Secondly, so, me who say, or Casa, of course, of my union, or Nakoya no Casa, Abribia, Noyana, or make a comparison to the predecessor. So, I buy no yes, say, Bassa, say, they be Amicase. Politicians, we are all our own enemies. As a mind, the beer and baby, I will say a corner. You know what they, but baby so near one in Canada, anyhow. Whichever way there has been progress. And Yana me, Aquina says, Amicasa, a foot to the beer, the Maya who say, yes, I buy beer and how barbers of Ghana problems in that. Now, no, because GTV now, one more the topic, Biaba. Na topic of the buy na a brown president Akufo-Addo ne statue on Kwesi Western region baby. No the topic who has buy no more some more videos be. Na videos so heavy Kotoka a champon Rollins 1 and 2 PNDC FRC ku on mu ye nyina the basis in ti omudi ye ku no the basis and e fa so to aba democratically to aba. Nti esi bi ahokyeraba. It's a bad governance, corruption. So our problems as the people has always been the same. So, Oba, Abaybi, now for Friday, I keep saying politicians will never lie. Say you better he be the city home come the usual politics and everything about it. But at the end of the day, when the reality hits us, we start trying to find reasons and justifying it. Fully, you be the home come. But the Kwan Kasa, this CC Huasem, Yankahwasem. I say free senior high school. All of a sudden, you're too about be seen then, and then they're bad policy bill. But before I never try about we are see problems say what free senior high school who be a cofabai. Who made their voice of why? Some will told that now by so here he can crap it. Now, Madame, when he can crack. What I said, you be try. So, and then all of a sudden everything is correct. The same system now, there is nothing else as our home. Intimidate, they make a change in your Peter and say, Sebu, we may not be where we have to be as a country, but at least give credit to who credit is due. Governance is a continuous process. Or can be being so about recruitment, or so about your pamungo for being in form. Oh, Sir Peter, I mean, so why ya? No, say, I bind that I will honor. Almost so committee December 7th, post the December 7th recruitment on the legally speaking, so be far work across December 7th and can from so be anyhow. Because still on the what what the mandate. Say, if I say about security issues, what do you mean can't say at December 7th? Say terrorists, we buy mine, most of mine, and President Akufo-Addo should not act. Why? Because a different person or President Mama has been voted upon. But Sebi Onyansa Munya the idea. Also, want to mean be a winning financial clients for. But Adeba was say I join Bahon in Yano on edited to Omoa, input you to a face. But the Ghana Education Service, for example, recruitment is not an event, it's a process. We'll be anyhow starting recruitment 7th by 8th, 10th to even 7th December, bet my head every year. Typically, in the government sector, before recruitment, if it be a financial clearance, I just watch local Ministry of Finance, may say, if you are Ghana Education Service, we found comfort. Over truck near truck tabro near Troy and factor into your budget. It be a 6 months, be a 1 year, never mind. Into when your financial clients never you know. That is a buy amount to me say or one thing it was a same so bit to make your uncle for quiet. Eka. Yes, I say a chair for, say a doctor for, say a nurse for, say a police for, or for my buying yes day in Chiamoka. So when you get the financial clients, that is where the process starts. The Ghana Education Service. Financial clients and now we Eura, how you do to see for any 39,000, which in any case has now been proven 39,000. The financial clients in Ghana was around May. And I'm so munya back also in July or August, if my memory serves right. But the be anywhere across August. Now recruitment, obeja applications, and tesa, obe review applications, obeja documentations. We review those documentations. You better hear national service set. We school claims are we making your CV. Are they all valid? You better for a lot of time. We go for interview. We are crying sana. Yeah, near the more letters I had. Letters. Sometimes there are even thousands of letters. And now government institution, you know. So why you more public service and civil service, you know. And there's a private man. Our process be within 1 month or the other day. Every you know. It means it be at 3-4 months. Now, what we know, even put a word of letters and class take some space. Now, Tiade Bakweso and also very profound here. Where you uncle for why the letters are more in civil service. Before I obey what Juma one friends probation as one when you know. Now, minimum time or staff ID bebam, not 6 months a term. 6 months. It's one of
these bureaucracies, you know.
It's part of the inefficiencies in our system, which gradually, as a people, we need to get over it. But the point is that people at GS level, me call hono, say you nipa 100% in now, 90% works for 6 months, minimum 6 months, and sana one more staff idea. Ba, if you crow or obey you may be a 1 year and a staff ID. Yes, so because say NIA card, you see, and tally with the document you are presenting on coin and correctify. Now ratification, bra. Krum say people or more krum they are frustrated and sometimes we feel helpless. Me must meeting. Me dear o me yiso. Me too one am class me correcting o na me passport na that of me documents and medical school is different. Me nkwase sign because o kwase sign one hwe ya and okwa itself can generate a problem for you because of the database that we have in our country. Intima affidavit no me kwa that to say. O ya na me the name you know ya dey. Actually, ade bi am upload bi am upload. But back to Asama American. People work for 6 months, they get their staff ID because staff ID need the only basis ubeti they are more controller and then controller their channel ne system with their tracker. Into Uber now say obi a on call into controller system be a we need there. Do you think say why justice to anybody? What's only about our promise 24-hour economy? 24-hour economy no and Peter Waha don't let us trivialize the essence of the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy you can compare to the vigorous campaign that we did with the free senior high school policy. It was their trump card. It was their biggest campaign message. With regards to implementation, you know, Mamo nyane say asa de kitikiti bi na mo kan na so pa because ma ba ni nyina campaign ni nyina fapem no of course campaign bia wo de driver no e bi also about obey schools obey roads obey say but there were there kese de campaign yeah time you say one district one factory one village one dam
okay
free senior high school policy almost obey time almost ntimi okay president go for time or say the health insurance paper that's the trump card mo buy mo trump card no to be see mo trump card no mo call parliament no mo trump card na mo de buy mo say mo be 24 economy be both into public and private sector but mo first budget am de call parliament no mo sa edition mo say labor laws no mo buy amend na mo ni de ko mo amend on one side also on amend to make room for the 24 economy but go to paragraph 487 of the same budgetary statement no. In the same budgetary statement, or the embargo after employment. So the only thing they can do, no, Peter, I have referred you. The only thing that they can do, they say, I just will be a retire and I will be a one son of 8 months within this same 1 year. So how do you just suppose these two? On one side, 24-hour economy for expansion in the public service, but on another side, you still put an embargo.
Okay.
So when you restrict with an embargo, who are you going to employ? How are you going to employ?
I'm sure Cedi no na honde akoso.
I'm going to go for a more boom.
Good for about Abekase said the Cedi na honde na akoso no. Nke be ya omomotonton ade adwade for mo entertain your masona customers and ye no mo ye wo man no ye ho be ehihan ye kakra. Then I work for
well, I mean, it's a good call. And if you consider the political realities that we have in Yemai bad form of course, we know we play politics with it. I mean, it's all they shall when you answer the statistics, I comment that. Why is smart now the best statistics famous? But anyway, I mean, I'm sure moderation. So
now we can naturally.
When him so started no taking credit. Remember that packet. And you would have put
oh, that is Mami projected your Becca. But you see, the point is that there is nothing wrong with the defense. Say, offer who, not say be a rule, Ujawa Japadia, Ujawa Council or the Ote.
mo fa wusisi a ma no susum na so na okoko afu a sa okwa akodo meboa na wadidi wo na bia o nuanum bi so ofa ase ne nkwara nkuma eba wo di ahwe mo the same way so ofa wu na okoko afu wo ho wasom na ka so ho a ese okodo kokoro no na o che bi di atetika no there is nothing wrong if they want to take credit for it eno de amamu na ye ne saa say ne omoba ye dum so say ye omo say nyomo we know governance is a continuous process and now na me court menya ayo antomatade me say we ni wase am this to go so na momo na memiem say ya ebu also da wo pese obese fugu bo obese obeda ne kire wa fugu what I say eno so ye de so bo no ye de eto omo so but beyond the politics that we play with I think our listeners also deserve some level of explanation so that you bet me put in within a proper context. Proper context say enuanom omaya ade but sebi ebro nya magic bia no my de aye we kwai omatima afa so ama Cedi eba forma internally we say you external and internal factors yes. If I'm for internal because say bi adam bokro ebo de ebo free internal factors no gold reserves no so gold body abai omaton gold in excess of about $2.7 billion. In the old the cotton, obenya dollars people the abede abesho money. In that case, within a temporary measure, we must stabilize the dollar. We common sense economists. Within a temporary measure, we must stabilize the dollar. So Cedi no. So the buy the dollar no, ahun de na ntokwa ebeye ebejina. And there about $2.7 billion no. What the time of buy no, I'm far around 14.2 or 14.6 if I recall, and a quanimu to even 16. But at that time, I feel quite 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and all my day. About 12 years, the bear 3 weeks, and a day. About indeed, it cannot be reasonably. It cannot be say within 3 weeks. And no matter my say, be a bros was I so that the dollar and I day above them. We know more cotton, and a day or more book pushes gold on this canada abishim. But we say be a book or more buy omuko to gold na da bay and omunya akwan kotoy omuto to gold da bay the gold reserve omuto to gold da bay and omunya akwan kotoy it can only reasonably mean say obi foforo na yede e to gold no bi be yede e beto aso so there is nothing wrong if they take the credit.
So chese mo policies be mo put in place.
Oh, say gold reserve.
I don't know who dividends now.
Say a part of the IMF conditionalities no. Say part of your reserve also no you need to build a buffer for it. So say the way in any eventuality you can use to stabilize your currency. And I'm able to say, buy what on gold $2.7 billion. Month be out to be, but cumulatively you are looking around $2.7 billion. Buy when 4 months, 4 months. We started to around February. And you buy and go to no hina. So reasonably, unim so been a toy. And I don't fault them if they take credit for it. But I'm saying, sir, for proper education, you have to put it within a certain perspective. They may only sad a reality or honor say, sa measure we know. Abain be about yibi. Ebu ha Bank of Ghana beton gold quickly no nyes cannot their bishop na stabilize kakra na the for what to go beto about or more yes normal. But the point is it's not sustainable. The only sustainable way is be increase export. Near reduce import, and that talks about industrialization, ne opening up agriculture, ne production, ne there be a can we are seeing your fourth industrial evolution. First industrial evolution by and take advantage of it. Sabra steam engines, no money at the buy and take advantage of it. Second industrial evolution by a fee, the electricity boost production and take advantage of it. Third industrial evolution, Sabra no more computers in the no number of computers about could be Pentium, and look at Pentium 4. Also,
which was the highest at the time.
Yes, I hope so use that. I hope so use I also no akujare. Do you know what every no be nyama so refresh and then also to boost production. We didn't take advantage of it. Then we are in the fourth industrial evolution. In the ekra no ya catch. I feel na industrialization near there a big trend in the 70s no. I feel na SSI before we were able to stabilize our city. So even though we may play politics for purpose of political communication with your Cedi ne your dollar ne your currency no, the reality is that aban bia so ntwe nanim kohwe that level of industrialization ya ka ho asem again okay some of the external factors are obi to say you cannot discount the current trade wars ekoso America
between
Trump,
America
and Trump,
China
Trump you be I like him to a certain extent the value system and the morals that he have but in terms of the governance approach I'm not a fan of him because how will you think that 21st century no now tell you anymore be no what's not should be retaliate on retaliate who does that thinking say enkan say America superpower now on China is one of the biggest economy in the world now what's not on tariff not war help Hey, na Ghana cry na sem na nka. E cry say ko
this week representatives go show Europe. They are trying to renegotiate their tariffs. Omo person mo sign kakra for another 90 days.
Yes.
Yes.
Enti minim kwafo otu no fo. Ana ono a papa na no ontie futu sa. De open no ye dey oyo. Aha, enti eno ka ho bi. Eba sa na dollar na so, na obi adi trade. External factors. Yes, is an undeniable fact. Dollar na obi adi trade no. Now demand na ye dey eco form. So, any demand also go from you don't need to supply. The value no say go from. So, more economists for say the higher the demand, when the demand and supply when me mind cause I'm a pure science student and I'm there do demand and supply. They say dollar no enya dey nkofo demand ni be brain. Because other countries who say we tariffs ni ade by afei dollar no kwa enya dey here. So it's one of the external factors to us no only consequential beneficiaries. Consequential beneficiaries the MIA. Nti go for we there we mo twafufu am na tom mu a o de di ba. One other thing so I for any ko ho government agencies. We say feel na by na start. A lot of them I feel on my own procurement list. We say procurement no about 100% of procurement items are nkofo here no whether vehicles, whether buses, stationery bibia no ye to free am no na ye dey eba. Nti wo to no wo hia dollar dey akoto meboa. Nti wo say am dollar na ye dey appreciate more.
Nti net say the person can say government is not spending. And I say
ye nru ho. Abai nru ho. Usually say start as the budget to approve that bay.
Okay.
Peter no busa mo agencies procurement bi ade e bi free be agese ko no. Na na afi no nkofo no bi obi o akraba wo hyase abegi ni sika. Eno na hunya sika de aye de ama no. Ana no contractor kra wo de contractor ama no. Ono no wo de contract ne man you fit be agese wa. Afi no no so copper dollars e de aye de akoto bi ko invest this na aye de eto. Nti by now no de sa na be ya wo so government agencies won't spend then no say dollar no stabilize it. But I mean say a stabilization is good for all of us. One I can say you be of us empire the ekodo. And now for money so case we shem kuma mekurasha so the otibubi. Until whichever the credit go at least for us as Ghanaians and we take advantage of that. But the point is that how we see the balancing act say dollar also call for in terms of one also more there can be some level of regulation. Na and so the ordinary citizens, a bit a benefit. And yes, sir, they take advantage. Well, of course, me to almost say, argument and they say, dollar no say ensure that you stable that. And they know from history and time immemorial, regardless of who is in government. Until so the $1,000 and the quarter a day the rate was around 16 cedis, right? Now what's na? What's the $1 so ntino? Ometeswa. Obey difference and ewo. Secondly, what the $1,000 quite a quarter na 14 onye very sure say or quarter no chana esabe 14 nti almost argument there no but I thought that almost take advantage of it. Ebu ha say ye kwan ye toto car say abuso ka ebu etimi board ade bi wo how to say that dey trend so my boy 2007 one was a wo hia wo so ka ba akopa ngwe tibosi akura abekwa akwaje ayede ayo eno na but I think say all in all no there should be a balancing act in terms of our enforcement on price reduction. If I say if be a fool as a people, no, we should have a strong framework for it. But the bigger problem, just a framework in the whole, it has more to do with implementation. To me, but tonight, baby, no policies, need vision. I mean, I'm not interested in it. I am interested in implementation. Maybe general performance, a lot of things has been bad. If your road safety, general performance, or you need to jam traffic here for Land Cruiser. My police focus abecha o beat traffic
this week crowd am say Monday me be adwuma crowd Monday accident be say 3 this year major ones claiming about 12
all of them are avoidable
anopa tutu ya be adwuma
ebu also na nyankofo we ebu ananya mo ebu ha boys if the language be na me dey show some na wa ban mu na dey show say o so no mu twi fam na dey show na why but I mean the general performance on enforcement is low. So I am of the view say when it comes to enforcement, when it comes to price reduction the market
monitoring making sure say.
But you see how do you monitor it? You see enforcement when it comes to price reduction and those things it has more to do with having control over the market. Say, na buying what agencies and even we sponsor more of the private sector and there more production and na be regulating market no but how catch nipa na say I said die behind o nkofo nya die ntem also say rent control 6 months hey me nya die ntem no wa ban wo die wa here o nipa no ko ho na ya farmer 6 months obeba ho okay what I say so if you don't get ade be compete with the people will have monopoly enjoy it
no mami so mo ha no mo say na time you do Peter Edima
7 minutes
time you do 7 minutes mulata say ye kona ye kokopesika kakra enti ye twan ho abasesia ye mama kwa ba say we fidie eda ha no say hi Adom TV o tie yen so ewo Adom FM ene asempa dwumadie ye twagu ewo your social media handles nyina so medindi Wolanyo Frank Nyonato mene Peter Mensa ono ye deputy CEO Tema Shipyard PSC and a former PRO of the Ghana Education Ministry of Education Kwesi Kwarteng ono so ewo hanu muse Peter Mamembra also Cedi no what dey e kan Kwesi kan o se da ben na mo ba ya mo benya sa gold do ya
yes no me kan the man as the wonyo
oh but also say government is a continuing intino policies bi no mu in fact uti economist na ye born ni video no cra earlier on and na Kwesi ba no cra
yeah
ono so I allude to the fact say some of the gains are more nyase sia no were based on the fact certain policies had been put in place or had been put in motion by the previous administration.
Your friend had put that day. When you be, my men come on your question. If you are not your person, but Abuame. Say one can make Saban Papa Ba. I won't media make Saban Papa Ba. Say wo feria meka Saban Papa Ba. Awo media meka Saban Papa Ba. Abba Adabraka. Let's give honor to whom honor is due. He was just being economical with the thread and go straight. Now that's okay. Oh boy, Abasu Aban Papa Naba. Well I know. Aban Papa and Naba. And then she say ni Cedi ni sikasam ye. Cedi nkomono. Aye die no. Enkura bata enan ho asem na mebeka. Die na ama ye Cedi na ahoden agina se ya. Impact ben ena wo economy ni so. Ena sustainability measures no ene ne die. Kwan ya ye be fa so ama sa Cedi ya nyam ya dom. Enya na hoden no ye betimi aye. Nansa na no there's this confusion. Yeah, Cedi no na most times on Ghana for you used to Cedi depreciation and who can no my confusing. Oh, Cedi appreciation na there's a woman tease. Cedi appreciation and a CCI womb. E di Ghana for any Cedi depreciation mu biom. Who bet me aka dollar depreciation. E di go dollar na ho den na eden e ko from wo. And a Cedi na ho den eden apeja. E di Cedi na ho den na apeja no ye kan ye nka Cedi depreciation biom. E Cedi appreciation. Na che say aban papa ba. Amena ye Cedi no aiden enya ne nan agina. Na de wo mu ne say isi enkomo no yan situate ama ye hunu impact na ye make na adanko da ensem na bebem enti wo behu se me nua kwasi e be fa kwati kwan be so opeso take credit amen ka sam chiro under the Fourth Republic this is the first time we are seeing say a government has come we be for a particular currency rate at a point now we're taking measures rate there has been a reduction in the rate as of when he came to meet. Said ye will be told Cedi na ho den no. Mostly na ya na obi aba or den hye egu akwan mu. Na the rate Cedi ni depreciate no, yes ye manage the rate of depreciation. But not having rate appreciation. Enti only President Mahama the second coming yi. And ye hu say yeah, but December ya na ye fra be mu fra be mo no. Na 16.5. December ya o. It is December 16.5. Na yaba. na ene na nhyehyɛ ye pa ye de agu akomu akɔ 12.3 sesia me be ba ho na yakɔ 12.3 sesia enua yentwa president mama na pamfo kruze eba ne sa na fofia ntoata nyansa kukuo ne nyansa nhyehyɛ amwo nyina da emfie nwotwe ntam wo no mo be fa ade no 4 Ghana cedis na mo firi ona 16.5 na ye ba ye na 4 months na ye tuma be hyehyɛ ya akɔ 12.3 the president mama ka kire Ghana fo nyina nsepe Ghana fo onye gidi o me ba be paw fotosanfo papa na fotosanfo papa na me be paw no ye de hyehyɛ bi beba ene ne nyame adom ye de Dr. Kesel Atofozen and na beto finance ministry na no wo position no na opposing measures at the man ya anom wo ma fada na ye nkamazamfo wo muntie ye tiobia enti ene Dr. Kesel Atofozen one of the key measures are what take a physical discipline in the economic management yes we are cutting down wasteful expenditures are more or minor the pressure better or minor expenses so obekwa kwasisa sini bebrebe na de akwaje dollar ketu ebi yen trying and still physical discipline in the system or instill physical discipline now you are measured in how you utilize your dollar and only your point number 1 point number 2 how do we leverage on the resources we have gold and before more bombs on my own gold reserve na gold reserve and that through gold board in Shisha, what is happening is that we are cutting down smuggling. And to gold on young man and go for more exporting. And for government channel more, you be that amount there by government. Okay, check your more records. In 2024, the whole year, gold exportation is $4.6 billion. $4.6 billion for the whole year. Yabaye within 4 months. Now you have $2.7 billion. But someone say, what is the difference here? Again, a strong strategic management. We are putting the country first. And you see all the loopholes. And my gold no for Kotiguans Nako. Now for government this is so. And the finance minister. Any gold board, you are lawyer Sami Jemfino. And she any good map na dear work woman. One is back at us. I suggest you wait for the follow-up. Well, I know, dear other banner, we are going to get to a stage whereby our gold commodity have a valuable commodity for trading and everything in the country. Do you know that the impact here? They said you want us our kind, and then Yamiatom. I'm buying new money and share with you. International transaction $1 near the year. And there was a say, Uma will sit enough more than a dinner. One young share more dollars. I would be international transaction. The openers of all the time best in the now they are called dollar, now they are called international transaction. And I present Mama Bansi Debbie. You leverage on what we have. Now, you used to gold, the gold you transform it and the core through a value chain. You be you soon in different ways. I debate trading. A banner, yen to me nko sesa Cedi bebrebe e fa nkwaje dollar biem ya nkasa ye gold no ama ye dollars ya ye de be ye dollar transaction. And now it is not only about gold. Ye be cocoa production. When you say under President Mahama, it was under President Mahama ye could do about 1 million metric ton production of cocoa. And also so a exported commodity. What they call what they call and also dollar na akwaje. What the cocoa the qua dollar na not just say oh but Nnawotwe. Oh somebody oh you see my culture as strategic management. These people were incompetent and clueless. They did not manage all that we left for them. Buffers are Jama NPP 4. Woman managing ye. I didn't think cocoa production and 1 million metric tons. Oh buy all the about around 400,000 metric tons. Why? Because of incompetence, mismanagement, and the President Mama. Mama salute to me and kasa me boss. Ya power me boss. Dr. Samuel Ofusuampofo as Cocoa Board chairman. Papa ne nim die me say me oni me say me sua dia tena papa ne nase. Me ne nam a ye campaign na. Nhyehyɛ ya na owo say the bia yen cocoa sector, great sector, how we can leverage on the cocoa production. You increase cocoa production in the country. You exporting more dollars. You fast stabilize and see and the President Mama Pow Dr. Samuel Ofusu Ampofo as the board chairman ebe kuda koko board no the eba be ne say the yanoma tumi anye 1 million metric tons na yekodu yo mo de call 400 no ye be bounce back. We are putting measures in place with the agri minister. Who said President Mama is so particular about agri sector. We are coming to leverage on that. Increase our cocoa production. Say increasing cocoa production, and we are going to increase exportation. It's not just exportation. We are looking at processing so many things. Said at the end of the day, number one, why export here when you have dollars? Dollars no abanebe use sa dollars no the international transaction. Your message Cedis baby and international transaction bill. Number 2, production and processing system na e be create okrom ha no. At the end of the day ye de be boa. Ama what we do is say and yama ye kokra and that is the third point, very important sustainability measures na metra one. Very very important. And yama a massive na ho de na ekofom no e importation. Ye kra nyama bebre ba. Toothpick ya akokra ba. And then chicken. Only say over 90% of chicken ya imported ba. Sugar, you imported about 98% of sugar at the Bakroma. Rice ya yedi, about 65% of rice ya yedi na imported. What President Mama has proposed, and no she share me work ye de be industrialization is say. Yeah, need jerk reaction of one district, one factory, and make it impact. Let's look at the 16 regions. Let's establish one major factory in each region, producing a commodity for consumption and exportation. Very important. In the Volta region, you setting up a major rice production factory. Volta region, you produce rice in larger quantity. Said you be able to meet local demand. No, we are exporting. And you Central region. Yanko Commander Sugar Factory. Let's revamp it. Let's re-establish it. Young produce sugar in larger quantity in this country. Young to me feed the young, you know what I say. And then I've heard the young corner. Maybe the West know about me. Young Kosha Hawa. You bet me a boy near young and cocoa. Poultry production. Now, and nothing I can't and go get a Ketanama for Tashan. You be major poultry production in Okroma. Say a poultry production, and I say production skill no idea. At the end of the day, and cook ya crave from on a day baby briba, high and seed no. Sa mass production I bear for poultry in Intino. At the end of the day, who bet me a consumer wire. The American necessity to me major industrial centers in across the system region. Now every industry is producing a particular commodity. They be a import here. We will be consuming it here. Yes, subsidies be because your local production.
It's government spending.
Government is ready.
No, it's government spending.
No,
government.
It's
government spending.
This is the first quarter of government. First quarter of government. Expenditure, no. I find that we are making
spending.
And it's still within the year. It is academic. You see, government operation and budgeting is for a year. Tell me, sir. In a year, no, you have quarterly arrangement. After you have first quarter, and you have second quarter. June, half year, your friend is saying, a year, President, I hinted Ghana for say, one kind the half year budget, no, you have a catcher more.
Media budget.
Now, no media budget, no. In the first year, no, we were trying to stabilize things. And that is the prudent and strategic management.
So into the no catch, they no catch. And
I feel like for stabilization sake. Cedi na mo de na ya bo nhihye ne kwa ye be kwa do better. You be dig it. You duru a what you need is a stabilization measure.
Ojitum say government any the biggest spender.
Yes.
In our economy.
Yes, what a good point to be about metro.
And to say untua contractors.
Yes. Yes.
No procurement. When you
procurement. All this. Now, Cedi Negina. Now say magic bin a wire.
Nyabotre. One say Okasa. You are not being fair to the conversation.
Oh,
say yes, say magic bin ya.
Oh, but me was prudent. Meba. Strategic money. Meba.
Strategic management. Mama measures for the strategic management.
Okay.
Material said there's
back to me question and maybe
fiscal discipline measured in the system. You're leveraging on the gold exploitation.
Okay.
You put other stringent measures you did go now. And only at the preliminary stage. And Amasacho said, we are looking at the sustainability measures. How do we do sustainability? Yes, sir, but leveraging more on the gold, cocoa export, come to industrialization.
So
apart
from cocoa,
system, produce commodities. Cut it down in importation. These are key indicators. And see the number they come from. And the government has strategies to deal with this issue. So you are dealing with this now. You have stabilization measure.
Is government spending now?
Oh, government is spending. There are some areas is spending, but some of the areas, and also some materials say, wait for the media budget and see what we are going to spend on.
It's not spending.
But the government expenditure is coming, and it's going to be prudent. You see, what we are doing, there are personal people for you,
say decrease import.
Yes.
Increase export.
Yes.
What about a policy?
Yes.
One outcome as a government is a continuum.
Of course.
What about 1D, 1F?
Yes.
Policies way. When one the paper bia on one. Ebe say mushemu kena. Should we reinvent?
Knee-jerk reaction. What has been the impact of that one district one? Let me tell you one something. Another material say the alternative way of industrializing.
Because you are still talking the same thing the NPP was saying.
The same thing. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. On say one day
you are still talking Peter, some the impact
is not felt in the economy.
Poultry production
in
the northern regions. Say you are targeting that area. Rice production in the Volta region.
Yes.
Sugar production in the central region.
Yes.
And I make say
it's not the same as what they were doing.
You are still
so listen. What you are not getting is that for us to cut down importation, you need to invest prudently in industrialization. And as an industry, no, you don't do knee-jerk reaction industries. Strategic. And I'm saying 16 regions. Why don't you establish a major factory in each region producing in large quantity for consumption and exportation? And yet they are you cook plenty will be down so the one factory, this one factory. President Mama on your side.
In 1 minute,
16 regions, you know. We are establishing major production factory. I bet me produce and meeting local demand, and then also for exportation. What's your exam bank? You see, exam bank share the bar.
In 10 seconds.
10 seconds. You have one exportation and make one. I've organized some youth and into agriculture. They are going into certain production of commodities. They bet me exporting. These are some of the measures. Papa now about book. No, Monsieur, Sibu mine. I didn't have I didn't swear farm me and cat.
Medasi. Peter Medasi.
One will be that one.
Kwesi, issue back
briefly to this.
Oh, okay. Just in 2 minutes, my patch. Only go next topic.
You need time.
Oh, Nnawotwe.
I say public education. So sometimes when it doesn't support, it's not supported by the data. We just put it out there. At mine we a buy, you know, we're more being inherited gold reserve. 30.53 tons.
Okay.
Figures when you frame if we Bank of Ghana PMC, I've given a source so you can refer. At the end of April 2025, not gold reserves, a free 30.53, equal 31.37. Into while year subtraction, the Omodia Kahon within a space of from January to April, less than even 1 ton, right? But the gold sales of my report by the same PMMC as Amija in 2025 alone. January, $506 million. February, $579 million. March, $742 million. April, $897 million.
And I did tell you offer fee.
Bank of Ghana PMMC, yes.
Okay.
So you can refer Bank of Ghana PMMC. Yes. And see, the cumulative value I export to this year $2.7 billion, right? Of gold reserves now waiting me atom. Why export to atom? Busa Jose also buy the Odiaka who 1 ton. So how could you reasonably have engineered magically all those gold reserves are also at all through gold board?
I'll give an answer.
Debbie.
How do you when you are making your submission?
Just in 2 minutes, so you can go into Debbie.
And you can say, audience is Abba. I'm a friend say mining regulation. Galam say, of course, won't mean so. Go catch them say gold board is a Abba and say with me streamline when January now what a gold board. February now what a gold board. What are you talking about? By January to 506 million. February to 5 no what's gold board? So the PMC I don't want to PMC anymore. No, PMC over anymore. Why am I saying? Oh, respectful. No, I am saying, sir, if it has been transformed to gold border, then you heard that it's not an existing institution. Maybe my main fancy. And clearly, you've been able to add less than 1 ton. Yes, you sold 2.7 billion. Oh, mommy, he kept interrupting me. But mommy, 2 minutes now interrupt. I've done what? Again, or say, Omo Ubusa say, a dear no maya ama we nyasa results. What can about industrialization? Industrialization is a projection. It's not something that I yet to say. Until it can be a basis, say, they are a futuristic, and then they give you results to something that has already happened. No, sustainable measures is part. But the question that was asked is, secondly, say industrialization, respectfully, say industrialization. Busa say, in which part of their budget and industrialization? Who give you more promises? You give about 273 promises. Okay. Manifesto. If you divide, my time. Because no, this is also for public education. This is also for 2 minutes. He keeps interrupting me. Who divide your promises by 4 years, and you should be doing about 69 every year. But this year, who put you about 23? There is no mention of industrialization. Also, sustainability measure industrialization. Finally, what's cocoa production? Cocoa production now. What is the correlation between cocoa production and steady stabilization? It's futuristic. Cocoa in China or China. And no. The question was not on sustainability. The question then you run away from the question. And you don't the question. What have you achieved?
This week, Chief Justice, the committee president put it together, 5-member committee, started hearing petitions nipa be mi nsabi atrafa no ho say for misconduct being in Sembi. Because I started with you. We are lawyer. Meaning say my about say the judiciary is under attack.
Yes.
Process now starting so far no. The person you share report be a kasafa Chief Justice week where committee has started sitting no. Your report be a person you share based on that no. You be call and same.
Minister of State in charge of government communications, Yawo Science Worker Sama Mampeni, Felix Kwachio Fusu, Enkrata, Wadibetu Dra Emuno, and Wachirimu say, Abidjokia, what's here, someone Sena Wuntie, and someone, a Chief Justice. Ehono ena wo otunima aboso mede to so dunu mafempinu ene edunu mimu ena wonom be hyase aye wonom abedwakue wonom eye nipa no mu a Justice Gabriel Scott aman the Supreme Court Justice ena eye dwemtenani Pelesofosu kwache echiremu ewon krata ne mu se abedwakue wonom ebetena se emprensa na wotwe bia na se wonom ewie a ondwumadi a wodi ye nyina no wode beba be mama mpanyini prima facie case bia efa Chief Justice hunti ena nam so amampanyi Dramani Mahama ejina afia pem ohankono ene eduokuno mienu amamra article 146 no so etse sa abadukui oforisu obosomeda neto so eduonu mienu afempinu ene eduonu numu abra Felix Kwashofusu ene samtrofo edinkita ho no wodane di se won sheda entu ebrepotin bia ensi ho no mu a sa abadukui ebehye wono madwuma awie na so wono mo hwe ne mu kwan se abudokue nyaade se wonum adwuma no obekere ho ebobosome ewa afempinu ene dunkunu mu ene wobo maame din se onkoye adwuma ewo Supreme Court na opanima abosome ewa afimpinu ene dunkunu no emu ena mrahye bedwafo agi no tumu ogusu aye na dwuma no ena aye humomo abosome ewa afimpinu ene dumiensa mu science na justice kwasi ene ne yeboa ekwo na homegie mu nti obo maame din se wonkoye chief justice na ansa na woba benya saa dibre no na waye adwuma se temuani ewa high court efri kotonima abosome wa afimpinu ene enan mu na ehini mebosome ewa afimpinu ene dumienu mu ena wopeja ne dibre mu ma no koye temuani ewo court of appeal na esan se enipa miensa ne kuchire nsem ya wonom ehwe se wobeji ne dibre se chief justice efri ne nsem mu nti no ofurisi obosome da neto so aduonu mienu afimpinu ene edununu mimu ena mampanyi Dramani Mahama ehye maami onkotena nchen wote abedoku enipanum ewu mu a sansem amanfo okuchirigu nkrata so de kodan mampanyi no wobehwehwe mu
said ensem no etie eno no kwasi ubaka se process no so far no you as a lawyer obi a also follow process no we are okay. Are you satisfied with the process so far? Hearing has started this week.
Chief Justice. Only who know you. Naka nipana oshechira oyesa President Mahama.
Who did say obishe adewe?
Meka semba. Afibi Easter bi. Me briefly. Mo amonim asante achemi no. Ya oka se lodu kwa wogo. Ana ba akoso branch fa dome. Ye krum. Na dome wo fu be po bi ansa. Ti awoka se bitimi fa ye ho. Timi na na ejina ka ba ko na ese akodome na so kwa wogo bato besi ye. Ye bedru na oso o catch passengers na say any o fa dome na wasi bi ko benya passenger o. Araba ko so ompene ye be ke ye numa asem nyina. O ma mi kura me na ka born be 20 years ni. O kura crutches. Na na kura sewa. No so mama mi kura crutches inti no ke insi no ma mi so ompene da ye so ko Easter church service. Na se me na ka asem ba ko adamitri ma. Awura na se mo ka na say madam na da wontimi nsi enante. Na me na try na ni asem ba ko no ka say awura me de me hu ma wie yo na kawo. Chief Justice Toko no we hu na wie ye na ka President Mahama. Only president forever. President Mahama only president forever. We di bi akwaba obedi so asa edai akọ. Krachi bi ode ka fam na ode ka fam na so me ko ka no didi mate na me say krachi. Ka don't tell forever. Usu be si edai etwa kwam. Ye no ma bia ye nto ye boase. Ni ehun se nipa hu kita hodie na edai yedi. If you ask me a question within the framework of the law, yes, legally, the process is fair. The process is ongoing. Nothing has been mixed within the process except the fact to say, when it comes to the suspension of the Chief Justice, is an because the Constitution uses May, or 1468, the 1468 or 11. I need to be sure. The Constitution uses May, and the May means it's a discretionary power. And the Constitution, Article 296, have also given room and interpretation for what how we apply the discretionary powers. Say it should not be capricious, it should not be this, it should not be abused, it should be fair. And one might even guidelines says in the exercise of discretionary powers, there's already regulations here. And non-quantity are there mechanisms within the framework of the law. No, one more any. But that part, no, but also is legal, it's legal. But my can't show Baron de Montesquieu, Penibia, or ancient political thinker, or can say be na make kind of my chain dream, or say there is no greater tyranny than the one that is perpetuated under the rule of law and in the name of justice. There is no greater tyranny than the one that is perpetuated under the rule of law and in the name of justice. I mean, chow, incarnated to home. Sabeni trainee petting, no illegal. Until nobody's because they trainee petty illegal until unim apartheid is South Africa. The chabro from half guha before mu half guha. The worst form of discrimination that has ever happened in the history of the world. And no, it was backed by law. Tiano say the papa. What I say? Pioneering, even at some point, slave trade here can't want to check blacks in the there was a law and I sure say it's me chinkophobia the echo. Tiano say the papa. So when people say, oh, legally be born bia yami humino. Legality is born out of value system and the ethics that and the culture that the people host. Legality in free baby. Even before legality, there was common sense. Aden the intro code of conduct. You don't have papa. So when people hide under the umbrella of the law, I'm going to say after President Mahama nye anything here. You hear the past conduct, the posture, the utterances against the judiciary. Fiti papa ya na main friends frequency papa ya said there are so many ways of killing a cat. Dr. Kobreji Imreso. Eba we predate to beyond even Dr. Kobreji. The AFRC, PNDC, no kuku judges are up to now we've not been able to account. ABC now. What has been the NDC's posture when it comes to the judiciary? Would every day be a judiciary system? Interestingly, the past 8 years, cases are not yet politically aligned cases. NDC won even more cases than the NPP. Yes, still, yes, the judiciary is here. Akufo-Addo empower our panel, Supreme Court with NPP judges. You see, the judiciary is such an institution. I do wait the judiciary is such an institution, and it's so much sensitive. Where judiciary, all what they try on is the respect, the value, and the integrity that we put on them. We are not saying is that when the judiciary loses their core values, we should not purge them. We should be able to. But if you are not very careful, the judiciary, gradually you are attacking so much. No, the judiciary, is not an institution. Because young people need it. Now, the master court to need detail. When Makato say, NDC for chief justice, and want to and gradually, the business community are going to lose trust. The ordinary Ghanaians are going to lose trust. Walano, Uboma sums is here. Mekacho also would deal Walano to be a free hat, now but try by the aqua. It is even in a court would be a seminal. Ye crum, I been uncle for my interpretation. Ama, what Chana Samba on Fanco Court to be, who shoot Ubona small here, two no better, or better. So she be very careful and very mindful. Nobody is saying the chief justice Yadia me and Tiana and Sebi Brume and Famran and Yajuma. But if we want to reduce the chief justice rule into a political appointment under what you call under the umbrella of
you disagree with Omo say maybe the woman not too politically exposed. Do you disagree?
Politically exposed chief justice role, no, aside the administrative role, is the politically exposed position. Chief Justice Bernard, current president, also current president. And do you also say current Chief Justice? Say President Mahama Yadia, Obakwa Kwatani Fi, and when the crash he will be there. Chief Justice Bernard, also the current government, will be a sumo him or tia akunyaso. In the performance of the duties, now to you, no who say, or belong to her. The political exposure be where is the basis from? The basis in Nyansa Akufo-Addo appointing. End of story. Political exposure. Give me one scenario. You see Chief Justice or you're politically biased. You can be politically exposed, but not politically biased. What I say? Say you're politically biased, then you have every basis. Sure, one more petition against here. What is really the substance of this petition? All we need to do, they say, oh, yeah, see Chief Justice and then for you, and he is a unifru. Unifru, oh, unifru, heavy will not break loose. We are saying maybe, after all, there are sometimes we kill judges. This constitution and your constitutional rule, you we or man your team, who need president forever. 4 years, you bring a Makoma 9. Things will restore. Bibia Kama will move on. But the point is that a massa do way myself. Or mine maybe
Mumpeni phobia makase. Omuyi mamia, Musumuba debia, Musumuba be Nippon. It is this back and forth. Then the next say a weekend constitutional institutions.
One thing I'm very biased on, I name NDC from Pomoye Bibukra. If I affect state institution, I'm very mild in my criticisms. Because I don't believe in individual superhuman. Some will solve the problems that we have and getting us development. I know say it's driven by individuals. But if we see development achieving is driven by state institutions. What I say, I'm for state institutions and people of influence. Now, no, you're able to buy you 2 years something here to din attempt, and the Boko conflict by any conference. And if it was a case, to say we succeeded in denigrating Sapapay, Emani, nobody, or Tana, Kasemba, Kahani, Cofreno, Amana Kebia, I'm very careful with that. State institutions should be very careful how we criticize and attack state institutions. Because one here, I know say San Kasanibu before Kasa. But you see, we should not rewrite I'll put it this way. We should not rewrite the constitution to construe Article 46 to be say now even the Chief Justice is now an appointee of the President. That is where my fear is. And I'm on same here. Now what they will say, what the Chief Justice I may appoint na me is based on constitutional provision and the powers and the mandate given to me by the Constitution. Me you know, also the own panel. Oba I be Article 146 as also we are working within the framework of the law. Yate. Now who be idia we are supposed to be bambini. That is where the problem lies.
Are you I want to say lawyers or representing petitioners. When?
Oh, say omo de known NDC aligned lawyers. Chatuchi Kata, Tadio Story, Bakavoma. I know so because omo NDC membership card way. But some me too me NPP membership card. Yet see how you name ho. What I say? Ubo din wala you make me be a free ba. Ubo me din kwesi kwa tell me be a free there ba. We are people of culture. We know ourselves. We know baby obi a the agent. The man who say, be a lawyers mean sorry, one of my DB favor NPP that their conduct where they align more, one no pass or transfers and everybody knows where they associate with their line. So I even saw from where they align.
And you know who are you when you say eventually in crown, the BCBA no, mameno yano be.
Oh, you see, me,
they say the committee between me a very good independent work.
The committee one appoint you. You see, I said, I'm making and say. The kind of confidence that people repose in President Mahama with that 1.7 million votes difference, ordinarily, no media can be expected to say Kaonye sensitive to it, okay. Because the reason they say, oh, President Mahama, no, only ordinary person, where the president paying. Into no more have for being his first time and for fraud. Oh, crowd by you, name say baby will do cow be name cleansing. Who say Nipe be our now so now no Kofu trouble ya. What I say over 1 million votes difference, and I will what I say. And I think go for say buy no cry an expectation with the mind yentimeni so nju president mama say the ebra
1 minute
and no maybe wo ho anka wo cry there ka the standard they be judge on e so high because we can the ababi but also beba na be party sem na be chief justice we chief justice Ghana emewi
alright
nemum one here the president abeseti ato no na anko president baba chief justice dey wo hu na wie yo no chena wo be kofi akotena as a former vice president also we ye beba
Peter kwesi say judiciary amodemonsa akokano.
Yeah.
You're very sensitive. Ebe weaken further weaken investor confidence. Ebe
if it's
state institutions, you know.
Okay.
Hearing has started week way.
And correct. Me use 1 minute na me appeal we very important on the previous submission. You best Ghana be for good for akasa. You tag for the enamo prayer se present mama be stabilize Cedi ne yema Cedi ne mrafom aban aye na famu de e be sre Ghana adwade fo
so 1 minute ne count time
mo man reflect na eniama na mo ton no esotie na emra ene petrol susu abafom in the sanhye nyina na ye government hye a o pese o manfo ne ho henhaye na cost of living enkolo standard of living dey improve no manfo no eniye. One significant impact was I did cramp say, yen debt servicing. And can say the alcohol service or debt will be $5 million a year. Or they about 82,500 and a quack just add that. And I see the year above for me. You use 82,500. You be use only 61,000 Ghana cedis. So this are significant impact. CD appreciation at the mind. The best say, I get the phone now, Mumwa. Nasa is she pay a ban or mount for no in your so and fast. Na many of Cedi we can no when you say about papa and she share no so obenya so
we are not finished.
I say sa chief justice asem ye can be out in emra necessary emra no say walando number 1 aso emra ma ho kwan se yetimi chief justice ana wazi we lawyer me emra ma ho kwai enti dia ni hula balu se na dia mo be ye no international reputation ni ade international for nim so manga na your constitution ana international for nim say in our constitution e kwan wo ho se enyina so bitumi ba yetimi chief justice adi amra necessary president mama so wabu mra bi so ana na ono akasa no nto wo so mu mra bi aso nhihye na na wo koso enti afia day adabraka. Let's allow the institutions to work. Allowing the institution to work. And so from the one article 146, no, yeah, this super and de be kwa kosi awie bia no awie yasam sama me be tena ho so won tena ho awie yasam emmara ne sesai de emmara no beka no eno na be yedwuma until the more NPP before people will be at I don't even understand NPP before this woman yakum. Send you sorry who demonstration chief justice. Meanwhile, we are lawyers, Munim say Marania di Yaduma, it is a needless demonstration over here. I be say a kefit into the Mayans, I won't go kefit, and yes, Pomudin wants them to do a politician, also the man pay my court Germans and I may back. So what I say, it's no but the point is that no, well I know you see, and someone me, I am a friend of the law. Me pay. It be I want to situate it say, and Mran is saying, dear Nemranica, it me my brother me bono, me make sure pass manam to me near my yano, me just my cotton brano. Because I'm running me dear Branimedi, me am pushing ye. And to we say no,
more way. The political impact. Let me just oppose it with the NDC's history with the judiciary and the current happening way.
Which one is NDC history? Ne political impact near the end. And Marana Nama Kwansa is a Ghana for B. Esusu sa wo mu wonyina so bi se ma me nana montuo ne adwuma wo ye ne kotia mra no article 146 a wo mu fa petition mra. Ana Ghana for mrantie bi Ghana for bi atusa na.
Ode mame. Ode obeto aso mame fa me phone lines and to dia. 0302211701 0302211702 0302211703 na wa frɛ na me pa cha wo frɛ a mentie wo ho e wo TV no so no reduce volume of TV no so na de opese wo ka no pa cha ma wo kasa na wo beka no ma ho ente me da se
etwala no enya ndisi asam enya president mama asam eye Ghana fo bi no mo test ye law no ye mra no ana o mo fa mra kwan so pepepe ana president no wa sudie wo sanse se ni mo ana president susu di ne die so die be kwa akosi ye bia no eye wie ya asam me personal
me ba nana bonso
Karatie mechiao.
Me pacho me sumeje oso. O frɛ
pacho mo hoye de.
Pacho me hoye pa.
Para Roma, ajeke se don board national chairman, national board organizer, no kumsi. Abanga lawyer sene ko chairman pa, ni chairman gafo e show. Akra am kan se. Sene mi no kan ye no, obi be no bia beto aso. Na global for year mo si ko present demonstration, eno win here. Na so Dr. Mahmoud bo bia kan simbi. Ni ko atia uti o ka ubi. Ye bamu kokra na ye ba mo ma ye opportunity. Yes, arrogance here who must the ministers no be and we are sama ye king a boss for. That is to be in the back. The mayor tom na sensa sata. No senior about say no catch us one pen. But church about today. What can be the ye king a boss for?
Benjamin.
Yeah, what I am.
But your friend.
If you are playing
you mean too.
You the American say you sit in a perform no your best friend buying some more share no money be from mine. And to sound so send me see kono. I share the breast we are some best friend impeding for some share no money be from mine.
Yo, me that say. Every fa free.
Me free mampon.
Yo me into
MPP panel no. Yes, I'm MPP panel no.
Pacho mitio.
Me kasa free asante mampon. MPP panel no oya medi ne ho ya afta. Ne ho ya no oya medi no ne se ne nkasa ye mo se kana wo mra na state trade no ebeketere abrofo no ekoye before no koye. Into opeso otre me se yen Ghanaians no constitution yen fa nto nchen. Na so obi tini bu constitution no so ye bibi de ne yemfa constitution no nto nchen ne so yenya de ye si se ya de se ye na ana se constitution no na ye de eyod the constitution no de a ene na constitution no osesen yema constitution no enye adwuma the president ye o ye na nam constitution no so de ye no an the nam so de a ene na onyae constitution na obi bu so no na okoye bibi no fisa sa abre no otiti obi so fa ho dis be da mo asi
me so me da asi. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
But you didn't baby out free.
Yes, let me start. Because every man sonka.
I mean to you.
Where do you make a crazy and contribute to Kakra?
Me too.
And they say, good master now, or can they say, and these entities, and the Barbers, town or the and because in a sound good to say, Ghana, Diana, say, NPP, what they are, they go on most are, the no to me, and young will be BMR dollar, no entity, my for the NDC by Wabi. Me and me question about one person can be done. Master one.
Could you?
Hello, sir.
Baby, I'll free.
My friend, Jumako.
Me ain't you.
Let me say, a man or your white shirt, not thinking one, or can say, the Mahama Mama, Chief Justice Kufia. On the side, the time was on Super Kufi. That is, I said, yeah. Or the BBC Mahama but another crowd, I'm in a buy no crown, another coffee. And all corners to say, look at one from my man. To say, no, in some number to her, or motion or moon fat, or moon can you set up there, or moon to be home, I'll say, yeah, said, look at Mahama. And a palm, my man, I said, Visa. I didn't take a crown.
You made us last call, Kofi. Hello, Kofi. Hello, Kofi. Who free?
The free Otako.
But your mammy too.
Make up Chief Justice, you know. I think that's it came my money to my Bebuana, the committee na president, you know, recommendation of the banner. The age,
you.
Abano, another president, the dear, a member, we shall allow the word, the law.
Yo, Mpacho Medase. Peter, in 30 seconds. No, 30 seconds. Mpacho, time now, sir.
Personally, my problem, and I'm war, Chief Justice. And a dear, or my declare, say, birth certificate ain't mean your identity. Me dear, Mediana Ghana for a sramo. As a mamma, Nashi, and Nashi, and Bra, and a Medase. The Ebeco CBA, Medase, in 30 seconds. Yeah, your time now, sir.
Oh,
Jaino.
Wow, so the amount.
Because you
with the man.
You ACP Agozo, human resource data for national security. Or trade you made the entire.
Me who nacho?
Or show board you
who nacho? Or I'm a lecturer.
And I'm the director of port, Mr. Zuma. Papane Eye Juma Pa. Gapua. Your mona basone or buy Juma was starting.
And Tiahana Jumediano. ABC. Bidin Eddie Wolanyo Frank Yonato Bedamos.